everyone, and welcome to the Something in Mimosas podcast, a show where we share powerful life lessons, a few laughs, and empower women while sipping on mimosas. Now, grab some orange juice and champagne and welcome your host, Gail Dudley.
Welcome, everyone, to Something in Mimosas. This is your host, Gail Dudley, coming at you again. I know y'all are ready for that mimosa recipe, so let's get started. I'm sure by now you know to either bring some items to make your mimosa or to have your notes so that you can jot this down to bring the next time we come together. Last week, we had our regular orange juice mimosa, and I'm sure some of y'all hooked it up with some fruit or whatnot. Today, I want to talk about the peach nectar mimosa. You get some peach nectar and you put your little under half full in your glass. Then you take either champagne or sparkling cider. You can also use mimosa or white wine, and you want to pour it all the way to the top. Then you want to take a strawberry. Find the biggest, juiciest strawberry that you can possibly find and put it in the middle of the glass. It should give you a nice splash, which will allow the nectar and the champagne to run down the side of your glass. Don't wipe your glass off. That's all a part of the mimosa that gets the juices flowing, and it is good. Of course, y'all, you want to chill your champagne and you want to chill your sparkling cider beforehand. Remember, I'm always giving you recipes where you can have it spiked or not. So that is your peach nectar mimosa recipe. I want to know who has tried it. I want to hear back from you. And if you have a mimosa recipe, please send them in. All right, y'all, I'm so excited to have my guest today. Number one, we are friends, so we'll probably be cutting up. Just laugh along with us. But today's topic is the color of STEM, the color of STEM, and that is STEM, the color of STEM. Her name is Kenya Hairston. I like to call her Kenya Nicole, but her real name is Kenya Noelle Hairston. She is currently a project leader in the healthcare nutrition industry, where her focus is adult products under the quality division. She has earned 2 undergraduate degrees. Yep, y'all, she's real smart. One from the University of Toledo in biology, and the other from the Ohio State University in food science and technology. She also obtained her master's in marketing and communications from Franklin University. After graduation, she felt the passion to start her own business, so she created Temple Transformation LLC, which is a faith-based organization designed to help those who choose to live a healthy lifestyle. Trust me, I was up early in the mornings driving over to her place to get my workout in, and y'all, she does not play. During that time, she also continued shortly thereafter with studying additional coursework in nutrition at the University of Bridgeport. Kenya's passion is mentoring those who have a passion in the STEM field. So much that she has created 2 scholarships at The Ohio State University under her father's name, W.V. Matthews, for minorities minoring in engineer or science. Kenya also serves as an advisory board, member in the food science department at The Ohio State University. In addition to her professional life, Kenya also serves as the praise and worship co-leader at New Salem Baptist Church in Columbus, Ohio. She is also involved in several church ministries, including the women's ministry, music ministry, and of course, y'all, the health ministry. In her spare time, she loves to run 5Ks. And listen, y'all, she got me out there one time, but I completed it, but I was walking. Anyway, she participates in yoga and Zumba, and fellowship with family and friends. Kenya was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and currently resides in Gahanna, Ohio with her husband, Chris, and their 14-year-old son, Skylar. So welcome, Kenya. Woohoo!
Hello. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so
Thanks for
excited that
having
you're
me.
hanging out with me today. We've been talking about it, and so here you are. It is still Women's
Yes,
History Month. So I'm so excited that you are joining here. You are so passionate about the STEM field. So if it's okay with you, I want to jump right in. Can we go for it?
absolutely. Let's go.
You have to tell me and tell the audience how you ended up in the STEM field. Is this something you always wanted to do, or did this just fall out the sky? You got to give it to us so that we can understand how you arrived at this point.
That's a great question. And I'm going to be completely honest with you and try to just give you the small version of this. So I really started this journey at a young age. I always wanted to wear a white coat, but I didn't know what that meant. But
Now,
I
which
just
wait a
was
minute, wait a minute, which white coat? Well, you got to specify the white coat today.
That's what's so funny. It was some type of white coat. I didn't know if I wanted to be a doctor. I think I talked about being a veterinarian at one time, but I didn't know. I just wanted to wear a white coat. But I will tell you, I had two inspirations. One was Candyland. Do you remember Candyland?
Yes, yes.
Yes. I was just like, wait a second. I'm going through this journey of candy. I want to work in a candy plant. That's all I wanted to do. And then Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory came out and I
Yes.
was sold. I was just like, who are these Oompa Loompas working in this facility that has a whole lake of chocolate? I want to work in a place like that. I didn't care about winning, the whole golden ticket and all that. I wanted to work in the plant. So that was my inspiration. Now, I didn't know as I continued this journey that God had a total different plan for me. And I'm so excited to share that. But that's really where it started at a young age.
Wow. One in a white coat, working in a candy factory, and you wanted some Oompa Loompas.
There it is.
There it is. I love it. I love it. I can even think about this since this is something in mimosas. We got to come up with a chocolate candy mimosa. Oh,
Oh,
doesn't that sound
yes.
good?
Well, and then you have to make a dark chocolate so you can get all the antioxidants in there.
Oh, then we got the health side. We got the health side. But as long as we got some champagne in there, we're good.
We're good. We're
All
good.
right. All right. All right. So what was your journey like? Okay, so we have the Candyland, we have the white coat. What got you here? What was it? What was there an aha moment? Did something unfold for you? Tell us about this because I know we have listeners who are looking at their young girls if they have daughters or nieces or cousins or children in the community saying, "Well, I want more young girls in the STEM field." So can you just walk us through your journey?
Yes. Now I tell you, my journey it felt like a roller coaster at Cedar Point, and I don't like roller coasters, but I did stay on this one. I'll tell you, as you mentioned in my bio, my father is an engineer, so he's been in the STEM field. So he prepared me in a sense and encouraged me to kind of get into this field. Of course, he wanted me to go more toward the engineering field. I was not interested. But he did expose me, and that's the first thing: exposure, exposing your kids at a young age. Just whether it's a science fair, a STEM event, something at your job shadowing, anything like that helps. So I would do things like that. But and this is key. When I moved to Ohio, I went to a predominantly white school,
Okay.
and I didn't know, I didn't like it. I didn't know why. I didn't have a prom date because no one asked me. They weren't into interracial relationships back in that day, not with
Okay.
the Black women, but, I was like, okay. Now, fast forward to college, and I'm taking biochemistry, organic chemistry, microbiology, and I'm still the only one. And I'm like, okay, well, God, I'm used to this, but I don't like it still. Why is this? Why is this? But I still press forward. And what I realized throughout my entire journey, it seemed to continue to be that way. I looked at the statistics, Gail.
Okay.
African American women in STEM who earn their undergraduate degree is less than 10%.
Wow.
African American women in STEM who have a PhD is less than 1%.
Wow.
1%. So what I had to do throughout my college year is find my group. Find the group of people, not just the smartest people, because my pastor always said, find the smartest person in your class and make that your friend. I did that. But in addition, I had to find women of color that I could relate to throughout this journey. And that's what really got me through. Now, in addition, I was a student athlete. I ran track in college.
Okay.
So that helped too. That became my group that helped with the study habits and things like that. And a lot of people in that group were people of color. But it was a journey. It was a roller coaster, because to have that individual that you may see next to you not look like you and may not be able to relate to some things, that was difficult. So my mission now is to be at that table, at that advisory board, to be at that table at any type of recruiting fair, to help not just bring women of color or just women, but to bring a quality person who may not have that type of exposure or experience, and to say, hey, there's somebody that looks like you here at the table. I
I
think
love
that's
that.
critical.
Yeah, that is critical. So now, so you already got me off my script because you said a lot right there that we got to go back and pick it up. So what is it like? And I know I've been here, and you join me on News in Motion Monday through Friday, and I am so sick of saying we have the next first. Every time there's a category, we have the first African American female. Just like I shared, was it yesterday? We have the first African American secretary in the Senate. Like, come on, this is 2021. So even back then, not that you're old, no way, shape, or form, but even back then, let's say a few years back, a decade, 2 decades back, what was that like, being that only brown face or that African American female in the classroom? Or what was that like? What was that?
It was difficult at times, and I'll be honest with that. But when you know your purpose and you walk in your passion, it becomes easier.
Okay.
Now, I will tell you, and people say, oh, I wanted to be a scientist, or, oh, I started as this in college and then I changed. Well, why did you change? Oh, because it was hard. Well, if you have a purpose and a passion, and especially if God told you what you were supposed to do, then you have to press through that. And then I've also had people say, oh, well, you're just smart, so, it comes easy to you. Well, no, it actually doesn't. English comes easy for me. Music comes easy for me. Science does not come easy for me. I'll tell people easily, my freshman year, I almost flunked out. I had a 1.9 GPA, a 1.9 GPA. And so I could have easily changed my major. So no, it's not easy. It is difficult, but it's worth it if you know your passion. Now, I graduated with a 4.0. I was on the dean's list with my master's, but let me tell you, it was a roller coaster. It was a journey. So I always have to encourage that person who starts as a freshman, who's going straight into graduate school or going to medical school. Yeah, it's difficult now, but this is just a part of the journey. This isn't the finish line. So get through this. And that's why I'm here. I'm that advocate to say, keep pushing, keep pressing.
And see, that's one thing I love about you, because I think so often people want an easy way through things. And it's like, easy's not going to get there. And if it's too easy, we have to ask the question, is this really for us? Because it's that easy. I think sometimes in the difficulty, we find and realize, okay, this is my purpose. So I'm going to do whatever I need to do to keep going. So let's look at that young girl, if we can, Kenya. Let's look at that young girl who may be in a single household, or maybe she's even a foster child in a household. And she knows there's something about science I enjoy. But the people that she lives with, the people who are caring for her, and it could be a 2-parent household, let's be real, their lack of understanding, they don't have what they need to push this young lady forward or this young boy forward. And then maybe still in the school system, you have that counselor, which I experienced in school, that, nope, this is not your thing. So I'm not going to help you fast forward. How do you connect with those young people. And what can you share? And I know this is a loaded question. What can you share with that person who's caring for them not to blow the wind out of their sail?
Gail, I work with a lot of young people right now. I'm so blessed to be a mentor to high school students as well as college students. And they've come from different environments. You have single parent households, you have people who have a father and a mother. You just have different dynamics, different socioeconomical classes and everything. The main thing, and I will say exposure, obviously, but utilizing your resources. Now, everybody that I'm working with is in school, whether it's K through 12 or in college, and there are resources, but sometimes they may not even know that the resources are there or how to utilize them. So, for example, I was working with a young gentleman and he was having difficulties in even getting accepted into a school.
Wow.
And I said, well, did you talk to your counselor? Well, once out of the entire year. Oh no, that should be your auntie or your uncle. You should be knowing them on a regular basis at this point. Because for me, it's about, getting a debt-free degree, but that's another story for another day. But really utilizing the resources that they have, not just within the school, but within their community. There's churches, there's communities, there's different places that have all these resources, but sometimes these students, they may not take a hold of these resources that are right there in front of them. And by the way, that young man did get accepted into a college. So we're
Oh,
excited about
yay.
that. We're
Yeah.
definitely excited.
Love that happy ending. Yay. Yay. And I think that's one of the things I want to get to. I know, this time goes very quickly. So hold on.
Yes.
I know. It's like, ugh. It's like, I'm loving it. Now we're into it. So we're going to have to bring you back, Kenya. But what do we do? You're talking about resources. There are
Mhm.
people who have no idea how to access the resources. Maybe they're intimidated about going to the counselor's office, or they're intimidated telling someone, this is what I dream to be, this is what I desire to do. So, are there any connection points that we can share on this broadcast to help people recognize that? And you just said it, there are resources out there, but how can one access those resources if they don't have that resource mentality? Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Within this generation, we have a wonderful thing called Google.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
just Google it. Within our community, and we live in the Columbus, Ohio area. If you go to a Columbus City school, there's a program called I Know I Can. And they will follow scholars from literally middle school all the way into college, And so having that resource and having that person to advocate on your behalf when you get to college, and if you want to major in a STEM, there's a program called Manners, Minorities in Agriculture and Natural Resources. And that consists of women and men of color in the agricultural sector. There's
Okay.
NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers. It's huge. So really connecting to those organizations and resources. And you can literally put in Google STEM in my area, STEM, women of color, and they will give you those resources. So
I love it.
there's no excuses. There's definitely no excuses. And be ready to really voice yourself and really say, "Hey, I am interested in this." And tell a person. You have to let somebody know.
I love that. And I hope y'all had y'all's phones out writing this down in your memo sections. If not, just hit the repeat button and replay this. But that's so true. And you just gave us some serious nuggets. You gave us three resources right away. So before we got to talk a little bit longer. So tell us about STEM. Tell the people, because some people still ask the question, what's STEM? So tell us a little bit about STEM.
So STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Those are the four components that make up the acronym of STEM. And STEM has grown to so many aspects, but it basically takes those four pillars and just runs with different aspects. So it could be when someone says I'm a STEMmer, they're probably in that field. They're in that field of math. They're in that field of technology, science. They could be a doctor. They could be an optometrist. But that's really what the word STEM stands for. Now, you'll also see some branches called STEAM, where they'll add an A to that, and that's the art side of it. But the STEM part is the real technology of it, and it's key. I mean, that's something that drives everything that we do every day. So whether it's food science, something that I do, whether it's a building engineering, whether it's calculating something for NASA, mathematics, it's everywhere. So that's how critical STEM is.
I love it. That's why I like calling you my scientist friend. Now, this is not on topic, but I have to, because you taught me something when I was coming to your house way early in the morning. And y'all, she doesn't play when it comes to exercise. She does not play. But you said something that has stuck in my head. Now I'll jack it up. So I need you to repeat it, please. You were talking about all the different organs in one's stomach, in their abdomen. And you were saying that you have to make sure that you're eating right and exercising because you want all of those things to do right. And I know I just messed that up completely. Do you remember that conversation?
A little bit. It's been quite some time, Gail, but
You don't have to
you're
tell me
right.
I haven't been to you in a long time. No. But can you talk about the importance of all of everything that's in our stomach and how we need to care for that? I know we're off topic, but that changed my life, and I want other people to hear that.
Okay, so real quick, over 90% of your body is needing water or has water in it, some type of form of water. So hydration is key. I always tell people that hydration is key. If you're not drinking enough water, not liquids, but actual water, then you've heard of people, especially like entertainers, like, oh, I had to go to the hospital for dehydration. Well, they
Right.
did not have enough water in their system. If you do not have enough water in your system, your organs will break down. And so that's why it's really critical to just have water. Now, on top of that, you need electrolytes, and that's a whole nother subject, but that's key for your organs in general.
Okay.
That's key for digestion, and that's a whole nother piece of digestion and what goes into your body. I have this little book that I wrote, and it's named something after my father. He told me this as mantra, but the keys to life are to eat, sleep, crap, and study. Those are the
Okay.
keys. If you don't eat right, if you don't practice what you put into your body, physically and spiritually, if you don't get enough rest, your body will break down, your organs will break down. If you are not excreting the proper things, if you're not getting rid of proper things physically and spiritually, if you're not getting rid of that, all of this stuff, and including studying, if you're not doing all that in one piece, that can kill you. That can put you in a
Wow.
place where you are not basically going to where God wants you to be. And I know that I speak a lot of God speak, but that's a part of me. So it just
I
flows
love
and it
it.
comes out. In regards to your organs, it's very important to minimize the amount of fat that goes around your organs. And I'm not saying, obesity, things like that, but basically if you have more fat around your organs, you're at an increased risk of things like cancers, certain cancers, colon cancer specifically, breast cancer. So it's very important to not only eat right, but to exercise. You want to get a blood flow. You want to have that energy burn constantly, constantly. And everybody's going to look differently. I'm not saying you have to be skinny, you have to have this certain BMI. I'm not saying that, but it's key to have those things throughout your life every day, so that you can maintain that type of healthy lifestyle.
I love
So
it.
it's there's more and
There's
more to that,
right.
but that's just a little nugget.
And I loved it. I loved it. I know I just came out of nowhere to ask you that question, but I have never forgotten that. And that was it. That was the fat around the organs. That has stuck with me through and through from our early morning gatherings. Well, y'all, this time goes by so quick. We only have a 30-minute spot, but I know we can all talk to Kenya over and over and over again. So here's my question. If people wanted to reach out to you just to ask you questions, do you have like a website or anything that people can connect with you?
I'm on social media. I'm on Kenya Noelle, as you love to say, on Facebook. I am on Instagram. You can look me up. I think I'm under Ebony Scientist on that one. I'm on Twitter as well. So those are the best places to reach me, or the social media spectrum.
Okay.
But I would
So
love to hear from you. And also my email address is ebonyscientist@hotmail.com.
y'all hear that? Say that again. Ebony.
ebonyscientist@hotmail.com.
Okay. And then Instagram, I do believe it's Ebony. Yeah, Ebony Scientist. And Twitter, I think, is the same, if I remember
I believe it
correctly.
is the same.
Yeah. Oh, it's just been so great to talk to you here, to this audience with something in Mimosa.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime. Yeah, listen, before we go, before I have her give some final words, I just want you to give us what's one thing you want us to remember when we're talking about people and color in the STEM field. What is that one thing you want people to consider or remember?
One thing. Wow,
One thing.
Gail.
One.
One thing. I would say at the end of the day, I'll go back to what I said before. STEM is hard, STEM is difficult, STEM is worth it, and STEM is necessary.
Oh, I love that. It's hard, it's difficult, but it's worth it, it's necessary.
There you go.
Love that. Thank you. Y'all, before I get out of here, I just want to tell y'all this inside personal story. The Cleveland Cavaliers won their basketball. That I can't remember what it was, whatever you call the final game. They won, and LeBron James was still playing in Cleveland. And it was the ninth hour, right, Kenya? We were like,
Yes.
we're going to the parade. We're going. What did they win again? They won the national championship. Is that what
They
it
won the
was?
national championship, and I was going to work, and my boss who is from Cleveland, she was like, "Oh no, I'm calling off because I'm going to Cleveland." I said, "Well, I'm going too. If you're
Right.
going, I'm going."
And then I called you up. I said, Ken, you want to roll? You're like, yeah. We got in
Yeah.
the car and drove to Cleveland. We had a blast. We were at the parade. We were near the end. And we were
Yes.
like just having a party. And we had
And your son. Your
and
son
my
came with
son.
us too.
Yep, he came too. We had the best time. So y'all listen, she may be the mad scientist, but she is fun and she will roll with you.
I
So
am a road dog.
she's a road dog, y'all. So I'm always wanting to bring to something in Mimosa women and men who are doing great things. And as y'all can tell, Kenya's doing a marvelous, amazing, fantastic job. I call her an expert. I love her dearly. She's my scientist. And I don't want to touch here, but since this is Women's History Month and we're in the middle of this pandemic, I've learned so much through Kenya about where I wasn't going to do the vaccine at all, but she encouraged me to research and to talk to my physician. I'm now saying, okay, when can I go get in line and get vaccinated? So we always need that person who's going to not tell us what to do, but encourage us to research and to look at things and to be open-minded and to get everything before you just make a decision. So that's who she is. And I just want to say thank you again for joining us. All right, y'all. I know y'all probably have emptied that glass of mimosa. So until next Friday, you all have a great day. And remember to stay well and make moves. If you want to find me on News in Motion, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com/Gail Dudley. And that is Gail, D as in David, U, D as in David, Ley. Click the bell so you can be alerted and also subscribe. If you want to do some one-on-one sessions with me or find out other things that I'm doing, you can go to my website. That is www.gaildudley.com. Do me a favor, everyone. Share this podcast. Remember to subscribe as well. And if you have a small business or you're an entrepreneur and you want to share your services or your products on the air here, please email me at info, the period sign, Gail Dudley. Again, that's Gail, D as in David, U, D as in David, Ley at gmail.com. Again, y'all know what to do. Stay well and make moves. We're out.
Thank you for joining us on the Something in Mimosas podcast. And don't forget to come back next week for more Something in Mimosas. Follow Gail on Instagram at Gail Dudley, subscribe to Gail's YouTube, or visit us at gaildudley.com.